ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वति नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। नारायणं पद्मभुवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यम् श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यम् तं तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। अपारकरुणा सिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणम् श्रीचन्द्रशेखरगुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहम्। यत्कृपालेशमात्रेण पुमान् पूर्णः प्रजायते तं वन्दे ब्रह्मविद्धुर्यं सद्गुरुं चन्द्रशेखरम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणम् तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्तगोचरं तमगोचरम्
सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्तगोचरं तमगोचरम्
गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्।
गोविन्दं परमानन्दं
परमानन्दं
सद्गुरुं
सद्गुरुं
प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्।
प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्।
जन्तूनां नरजन्मदुर्लभमतः पुंस्त्वं ततो विप्रता
जन्तूनां
जन्तूनां
नरजन्मदुर्लभमतः पुंस्त्वं ततो
नरजन्मदुर्लभमस्त्वं
विप्रता।
ततो विप्रता।
तस्माद् वैदिकधर्ममार्गपरता विद्वत्त्वमस्मात् परम्।
तस्माद् वैदिकधर्मार्थपरतात् विद्वत्तस्मात् परम्
आत्मानात्मविवेचनं स्वनुभवो ब्रह्मात्मना संस्थितिः
आत्मानमविवेचनं स्वनुभवो संस्थितिः
मुक्तिर्नो शतजन्मकोटिसुकृतैः पुण्यैर्विना लभ्यते
शतजन्मकोटिसुकृतैः पुण्यैर्विना लभ्यते
प्रथमश्लोकः मङ्गलश्लोकः मङ्गलश्लोकमनुसृत्य द्वितीयश्लोकात् आरभ्य पञ्चमश्लोकपर्यन्तं मनुष्यजन्म प्रशंसा क्रियते आचार्येण शङ्करभगवत्पादैः। गतवर्गे दृष्टवन्तः जन्तूनां नरजन्म दुर्लभम् इति. We have not seen the full shloka, the meaning of the full shloka. We have seen the 2 lines, or maybe 3 lines. Jantuna madhye dukkena labhyam janma narajanma. Durlabham dukkena labhyate. It is difficult to gain. That is durlabham. Dukkena labhyate. Durlabham, rarity. Because only through Manushya Janma, moksha is possible. Muktihi na labhyate. Muktihi na labhyate. Anya jantubihi. Anyaihi jantubihi. Jayate iti jantuhu. Everything is born beings. But moksha is only possible through Manushya Shariram. Therefore, Manushya Janma Prashamsa. So, Manushya Shariram is a rarity. Among that also, Ataha Asmat Narajanmanaha, next rarity, Durlabham is Pumstvam. Pumstvam is courage. Pumstvam stands for manliness. Manliness meaning you have to take the mind which is courageous, which is independent of thinking. Only for a thinking being, moksha is possible. Because one has to choose to know the tattvam. Choice is there. Being a human being, he has got choice. Free will is there. Kartum shakyam, akartum shakyam, anyathava kartum shakyam. He can choose to do a thing as he wishes. Or he can choose that in a different way also. That is possible. He has got choice. Or he need not do also. He can choose to go to Kashi by the means as he likes. He can go by flight, he can go by train, he can go by walk, or he need not go. Choice is there. He can choose. Other beings do not have choice. Human being can choose to eat both, can choose to eat vegetarian or non-vegetarian, whereas other beings do not have choice. So choice is there. So therefore endowed with choice, endowed with free will, and also with the mind which is capable of thinking, independently thinking. That mind, pumstvam, the status of being a man, that quality is referred to. That's what we have to take. Pumstvam. Tataha, tasmat. The pumstvam durlabham. You have to supply durlabham for every word. Narajanma durlabham jantuna. Asmat durlabham punstam. Tataha durlabha viprata. Viprata is the knowledge of the Shastram. Chaturdasha Vidyasthanani. There are 14 knowledges, you can say. Veda, Chatur, Vedaha, Chatvaraha Vedaha, Vedaha, then Shat Angani, then Dharma Shastra, Dharma Shastra, Ayurveda Shastra, Itigasa, Purana, all the 14. So one who has studied the Shastram, Dharma Shastram, he knows what Dharma and what Adharma also. That is Viprata. That is Viprata. We saw in the last class discussed about that. That Viprata is Durlabha. Viprata is possible only when the person gains the eligibility to study the Shastram. That is only by samskara, Upanayanadi samskara iti. So therefore, Viprata, he has got Shastra Jnanam, Dharma Shastra Jnanam, Athato Dharma Jignasa, that Jnanam. Dharma Shastram, he knows. So therefore only he knows what is Dharma, what is Adharma. Dharma Jnanam, Adharma Jnanam api. Both have to be inquired and understood. That is why Jignasa. Dharma Jignasa Kartavya. That is what the first part of the Veda, Purva Bhaka of the Veda. The Purva Mimamsa first sutra is Dharma Jignasa, Athato Dharma Jignasa. As Uttara Mimamsa has got Athato Brahma Jignasa, they have got Athato Dharma Jignasa. So Viprata referring to the knowledge of the Shastram in general, Veda Shastram, not Vedanta. The Viprata Durlabha. Tasmad, compared to that, Vaidika Dharma Marga Parata is Durlabha. He knows, but he has to practice. Vaidika Dharma Marga Parata. Parata is commitment to the Vaidika Marga, Veda Marga, Veda Anushtana, Veda Vigita, Karma Anushtanam, following the injunctions of the Veda, doing the karma as instructed by the Veda, Nitya Naimittika Adi Karma, Sandhya Vandanadi, Agnihotra Adi Karma, Naimittika Karma, Shraddha Adi Karma, another karma also, Agnihotra, etc., which is a rare anyway, but at least those karmas which are fundamental, which are basic, as ordained by the Shastram, following the Dharma, following the Veda, that is Vaidika Dharma Marga Parata, which is Durlabha. The person may be, because of some Pura Janma Samskara or Punya, whatever it is, may be born in a good family, good Vaidika family, but he has to follow because he is born in a family. Maybe he could be a Jati Brahmana. Samskara is there in the family, but he has to follow. That is also a rarity. Who follows? It's a big question. Therefore, Vaidika Dharma Marga Parata Dharma Anushtanam, that is a rarity. Dharma Anushtanam. Then Tasmad, Vidvatvam is Durlabham. Vidvatvam is, there comes the study of the Veda Anta, Upanishad. Vidvatvam, therefore it is study, how to study, not by oneself. It is by Tadvitti Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya Upadekshanti Te Jnanam Jnaninas Tattvadarshibhihi. Going to the Guru Upa Sadanam, Guroho Samipe Gatva upasamipe gatva jnanam. That is the jnanam which is to be gained only from the Guru. Therefore, first is Guru Upasadanam, Gurukulavasa. Having gone to the Guru, asking for the knowledge, he has to ask for it. Like in the Upanishad, beautifully it is presented in many Upanishad. In Mundaka Upanishad, we have seen Tasmin Bhagavo Vijnate Sarvamidam Vijnatam Bhavati iti. Beautifully, Shaunaka presents his inquiry, his question occurred to Brahma. So, therefore, asking Pariprashnena Sevaya, Pariprashnaha, and also accompanied with Seva, Guru Seva, Gurukula Seva. By that, he gains the knowledge of Veda Anta, that is Upanishad. Therefore, it means Vidvatam. Therefore, the word refers to the Angi, that is Shravanam. Shravanam means not just hearing. Shru Dhatu, Shru, to hear. But it is not just hearing, it is more than hearing. Generally, we hear or we translate Shravanam, listening. It is more than listening. Advaita Vastuni Tatparya Avadharanam. That is what Shravanam is. Ashesha Vedantanam Tatparyam Avadharanam Advaita Vastuni Eva iti. That ascertainment, ascertaining the Tatparya of the Shastra is only in presenting the Advaita Vastu, Brahma. That Tatparya Avadharan, ascertainment, that is called Shravanam. Of course, that is done by some tools, Upakrama, Upasamhara, etc. That's 6 tools. We may not know the tools at the beginning, but all these things that Acharya, the teacher, will apply and will present the Advaita Tattvam. But one has to have that ascertainment that the Shastram has got commitment only in the Advaita Vastu. That is Shravanam. Shravanam is impossible. Gurumbina Shravanam na bhavati. Shravanam is impossible. That is what is referred to by the word Vidvatvam. With Jnane, the status of being knowledgeable, Vidvatvam. Not Vidvatvam means scholarship. Scholarship could be Viprata. A person may be knowledgeable in Dharmashastra. But what is the use of scholarship in Vedanta? Vedanta is meant for Jnanam and therefore Moksha. So a person may be a scholarly person in Dharmashastra, that is fine. But what is the use of being scholarly in Brahma Jignasa? Without Jnanam, scholarship is of no use. In fact, we don't study Vedanta for scholarship. We don't study Vedanta for any academic knowledge. There is no use of it. Better not to study. Instead of studying, Vedanta is for knowing oneself. Atmajnanartham eva Vedanta patanam, shravanam. And therefore the person is Vidvatvam. He gains the status of being a knowledgeable Vidwan, a knower. That is Param, Durlabham, Vidvatvam, Asmat Param, Kasmat, Vaidika Dharma Marga Paratayaha, Vidvatvam, Param, Durlabham iti. Param means greater, therefore Durlabham. So step by step, like in Sopana Panchakam we have seen, Sadhana Panchakam, the different steps, different ladders are given. Similarly, here also step by step, starting from Manushya Janma, slowly has come to Brahma Jignasa, Vidvatvam. So Vidvatvam, therefore Shravanam. And after that, Shravanam is followed by Mananam. The Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, this triad, we say Shravanena eva jnanam. And therefore mokshaha. A person gains knowledge only by Shravanam. It is Angi. Mananam and Nididhyasanam, they are Anga. If Shravanam by Shravanam Jnanam doesn't happen, that may be due to some obstacles, pratibandha. So therefore only mananam and further mananam and nididhyasanam are suggested. If the person is an adhikari, who is an adhikari? Sadhana chatushtaya sampannaha adhikari. That is called adhikari. The one who is endowed with the fourfold qualifications must be a Viveki, Vairagi, Shamadhishatka, Sampannaha, and of course must be a Mumukshu, Mukta Micha Mumuksha. You must be endowed with intense desire for moksha. Like in the Shastram, it is said, Dagda Shiraha, as though one's head is on fire. So what will happen if the head is on fire? Then that person will not bother, even if the water is ditch water, he'll quench it. That is the Shiraha. So like that intense desire for moksha. We have seen in Vedanta Sara that Adhikari itself is described elaborately. So the person must be an Adhikari. Then only Shravanam, Shravanena Jnanam Bhavati. In spite of Shravanam, doesn't matter. If Shravanam doesn't happen, then there may be due to obstacles. Therefore, Mananam. What is Mananam? That is referred to by the word here. Atmanatma Vivechanam. Vivechanam, Vivekaha. In Panchadashi we see Dvaita Vivekaha, Panchakosha Vivekaha, Tattva Vivekaha, Panchamahabhuta Vivekaha. In fact, first five prakaranams are Viveka Prakaranam. We do Viveka, we do Vivechanam. Vivechanam Kriyate. That is how the Shloka starts. Vivechanam Kriyate, Asmabhiki. Atma Anatma Vivechanam. Viveka between distinct understanding between what is Atma and what is Anatma. Atma Satyam Tadanyata Sarvam Mithya iti. That Vivechanam is called Mananam. That requires thinking. Without thinking, rational thinking, the person should reason out. Without thinking, not just swallowing the teaching. So our sampradaya, that is why we say it is not a preaching tradition, it's a teaching tradition. Teaching is involved, class is involved. People may make fun, what is this class? But without class, it is not possible because class meaning teaching. Teaching happens only through the class. It's not one class, it is a series of class. A text is taken and studied in depth, understanding what the text says. That is possible only when the person who teaches has already studied, has understood what the tattvam is and comes under the sampradaya. Very important. Even if he is not a Brahmanishta, the teacher, he must be a Shrotriya. He must have studied under a teacher. That is a basic qualification even for a teacher. Now, the Chatraha, the students, the Shishyaha, now they have to do Mananam. This is Atmanatma Vivechanam after Shravanam. Shravanam is initial exposure to Shastram. If the person is Adhikari, he gets Jnanam. But there are Pratibandhas are there. Obstacles are there. In fact, obstacles are of many types. That is why for each obstacle, each method is given. Karma Yogena, we say in the beginning. Karma Yogena Mala Nivritti, that is Ragadvesha Nivritti. Ragadvesha, likes and aversion. The whole life is governed by Raga and Dvesha. That is handled only by Karma Yoga. Without Karma Yoga, then Jnana Yogyata is not possible. Jnana Yogyata meaning gaining sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, that is not possible without Karma Yoga. So that is why Grastha is important. The person gets seasoned, gets maturity, going through the Grastha. That is Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga meaning Ishvararpanam Karma Kartavyam. And whatever the result comes, Sada Buddhya Svikartavyam. Ishvararpana Buddhihi Prasada Buddhihi. You have to do karma as though it is a worship of the Lord, whether you like it or not. Given the situation, if it is to be done, to be done. If you like it, very good. If you don't like it, then also you must do it. That is called the karma yoga. What is to be done in the given situation, that is to be done. Like Arjuna, even though it is a ghora yuddha, Tatkim karmani gore mam niyojayasi ye Keshava, he asked, but still, that is a situation given. So he has to do. That is karma yoga. So karma yogena chitta shuddhihi, the mind gets relatively free, relatively pure. The relative purity, the relative happiness, the relative shanti that is required. Without that, absolute happiness or shanti is not possible, which is Brahma. It's not possible, which is Atma, not possible. That is why the mind should enjoy relative tranquility, relative happiness, relative contentment. So that is by Karma Yoga. Then Vikshepa, that is scattering, there is no focus, no concentration. That is by Upasana. That is why Upasana also important. Upasana also plays a vital role. Then only comes the Shastram, then Vedanta, Shravanam. So if the person has done enough homework, then Shravana Matrena Jnanam. Otherwise, Mananam, Atmanatma Vivechanam, that corresponds to Mananam. So Mananam, what is Mananam? That also technically defined. Anavarata Anuchintanam. Vedanta Anuguna Yuktibihi Anavarata Anuchintanam. Mananam comes after Shravana. Therefore, Shrutasya Advitiya Vastunaha Vedanta Anuguna Yuktibihi Anavarata Anuchintanam Mananam. Mananam, constantly thinking. Anavarata means no gap. Constantly thinking of what? Advitiya Vastu, which is heard at the time of Shravanam. At the time of Shravana, meaning that you have approached the Guru, asked for knowledge, the Guru teaches, that is Shravanam. So you have heard at the time of Shravanam what Advitiya Vastu. Therefore, thinking, contemplating, reflecting on that Advaita Vastu, in keeping with the Yukti, the reason, in with Shastram, Vedanta Anuguna Yukti. So it is not just a swallowing. One has to reason. One has to apply one's thinking. Yukti, Tarka, logic. But logic should be in keeping with the Shastra. We should not apply logic which is outside the Shastra, because you cannot arrive at Tattvam by logic. Logic is not a Pramana. Logic is not a Pramana. For logic, the basic things, Pratyaksha is the basis. Of course, Pratyaksha is the basis for everything. So for logic, if logic is a Brahmanam, then Shastram is not required. Therefore, but that's why we say Shruti Sammata Tarka, Vedanta Anuguna Yukti. The Yukti, the logic, the Tarka should be in keeping with what Shastram says. Even if the Shastram says something illogical, that should be dismissed. That much, that Yukti, the Tarka, that thinking should be there. If the Shastra says, some place Shankaracharya says, if Agni is cold, if Shastra says, you dismiss it. Similarly, if Shastra says, Shastra says, Swargaloka is not permanent. It is logical. Swargaloka or Narakaloka, whatever it is, Loka. Yata, Iga Tata Amutra. It cannot be permanent. There is no permanent heaven or hell. There is no eternal damnation. Not there. You go to Swargaloka because you have earned punya and enjoy. Shine punye, Natyaloka mishanti. After exhausting all the punya, you have to come back to earth. Again, it's because this is a karma bhumi. Similarly, if you go to Narakaloka, you spend all your Papa, then come back again. So it is not a permanent place. This is logical. So therefore, if other philosophy, other theologists, they say Sarga is permanent, logically can be dismissed. Logic is applied. This is logic. So like that, in Mananam, we apply logic to understand thoroughly Advaita Vastu, and therefore that requires constant thinking, constant listening and thinking of the Shastram. We have to use our buddhi. That's very important. If prajna, if buddhi, if we don't use, then what is the benefit? We can't derive anything if we don't use our buddhi. Therefore, we require that vivechana shakti, capacity to discriminate atma and anatma. That corresponds to mananam. That's a beautiful shloka. Yasya nasti swayam prajna. Shastram tasya karoti kim. Lochanabhyam viginasya. Darpana kim karishyati. So one has to think. If one doesn't think, prajna nasti, then what Shastram will do? Lochanabhyam viginasya. If eyes are not there, then what the mirror will do? Similarly, one has to think. Thinking and logical thinking in keeping with the Shastram. By that, the person, he understands without any doubt-free knowledge. That is why Mananam. Because doubts are dangerous. Doubts could be with regard to the Pramanam, very Pramanam itself. Shastram, whether Shastram is a Pramanam, Pramana Shanka, Prameya Shanka, or what does Shastram teaches? Is it true? Because it is not available for other means of knowledge. How do I believe it? All these doubts will come even for a learned person. Even for the Shastris, also these doubts come. That is why Mananam is important. Firm conviction. Therefore, Mananam. So, therefore, Asmat Param, Vidvattam Asmat Param, then Atmanata Vivechanam, then Svanubhavaha, Svanubhavaha, Swa Anubhavaha, Swanubhavaha, Svanubhavaha. Svanubhavaha is what referring to Nididhyasanam. Nididhyasanam means Aparokshikaranam, Aparoksha Jnanam. Tad Brahma Ahamasmi iti, that Jnanam is well assimilated. That is called Nididhyasanam. Nididhyasanam meaning nothing but it's meditation, but it is Vedantic meditation. In other meditation, there is an object of meditation. But what about in Nididhyasanam? Here the object of meditation is Atma, you. You are the object of meditation. Aham Atma Avyayaha. Achedyoyam Adagyoyam Akledyo Shoshayevacha. Nainam Chindanti Shastrani Nainam Dagati Pavakaha. Aham Avyayam Avyaktaha Aksharaha iti. Najayate Mriyate. So many words. Atma is Nityaha. It is Aksharaha. It is Avyaktaha. It is Avyaha. That Atma is me meditating on the words of the Shastram and assimilating the knowledge, the teaching. That is called Nididhyasanam. So Nididhyasanam is the knowledge which we gain in the beginning. That is Brahma Asti. That is Paroksha Jnanam. That Brahma Ahamasmi. You understand that Brahma Ahamasmi, that is Nididhyasanam. Aparokshikaranam. The Aparoksha Brahma, the Paroksha Brahma, in the beginning it is Paroksha Brahma. Brahma is never Paroksha. But for the person, it is Paroksha. Then becomes Aparoksha. Aparoksha means that is me. Aparoksha means it is not something which is remote. It is myself. That is Aparoksha. Vijatiya Deghadi Pratyharagita Advitiya Vastu Sajatiya Pratya Pravagaha Nididhyasanam. So the Vidyasanam definition, it is given in the same line as meditation. What is meditation? Sajatiya vritti pravagha. Vijatiya anantarita sajatiya vritti pravagaha. That is called dhyanam. Vritti is thoughts. Sajatiya vritti, vijatiya vritti. Two types of vritti. The vritti, the thoughts which are sajatiya belong to the same category, same thing. Vijatiya means thoughts, different thoughts. Suppose you are meditating on your Ishtadevata, or Ganapati. You start meditating on Ganapati from the head to the feet, again from feet to the head. So your mind, that the thoughts which you occurs in the mind, it only with regard to the form of the Ganapati. It doesn't go out. Either you meditate on the feet, or you meditate on his Udara, stomach, or on his Mukha, Gajanana, or on the head, or on the hand. It is pertained only to the very periphery of that form, doesn't go out. So that is Sajatiya Vritti, for example. Now when you meditate on Ganapati, suddenly some thought of monkey comes, the monkey to goes to America. Different thoughts come. It is disconnected. There is some connection, of course. The mind is carried away by other thoughts. That is Vijatiya. So no Vijatiya, only Sajatiya Vritti Pravaga, the flow of similar thoughts. That is called Dhyana. The same way here, Vijatiya Dehadi Pratyaya Ragita, Deha, body, etc., they are Vijatiya. We are not meditating on body or mind or senses. We are meditating on the Advitiya Vastu, Brahma, which is Atma Aham. So entertaining the thoughts of Brahmatma, that flow of thoughts, that is called Nididhyasanam. For that only, therefore Nididhyasanam is nothing but meditation, Vedantic meditation. It is done to assimilate the teaching. It is done to assimilate the teaching of the Shastram. So that's why we take up some vakya, some sentence or some words and meditate. Like Aham Atma Avyayaha. So Avyayaha doesn't undergo any change. God doesn't undergo any change. Atma doesn't undergo any change. That which doesn't, everything undergo changes. The one thing which doesn't undergo any change, which is a witness of all the changes, doesn't undergo any change. What that is? That is myself. What can it be? That is myself. I am the witness of all the changes. As a witness, I don't undergo any changes. Therefore, aham sambit eka na vidyate. I am there in all the avastha, jagrat avastha, sushupti avastha, sapna avastha, in all the avastha, avastha traya sakshi. And my nature is such chit anandaha iti. Existence, I exist, sat, always. Nasoto vidyate bhavaha, na bhava vidyate sataha. So I exist. And it is chit, consciousness, chaitanyam. And it is anantaha, therefore anandaha. Iti meditating on Atma, meditating on Brahma. That is called Nididhyasanam. Now, Swanubhavaha, Swa Anubhavaha, Aparokshanubhutihi, otherwise Aparokshikaranam. What is the result? Brahmatmana samstitihi. Brahmatmana samstitihi is Brahmi stitihi, Nishta. Brahma chas. Also Atma, Brahmatmana samstitihi, Brahmatma rupena avasthanam. Abiding in this knowledge that Aham Atma Brahma iti, that Brahmanishta, Atmanishta, the Jnananishta, in the language of Bhagavad Gita, Chita Prajna, Brahmi Stitihi, in the language of Gita, Jivan Mukti, in other words, Jivan Muktihi. That's called, the person, Jivan Mukti means a person is free while living because he has gained knowledge, understood what the reality is. So therefore, Jivan Mukti is free, is no more bound. by samsara. The samsara is not there for this person. He has clearly discerned the truth that Aham Atma Brahma. Therefore, he has become free. While living, he is free. It means that Aham Karta, Aham Bhokta, that Kartrutva Bhoktrutvam, which alone binds a jiva to samsara. Now, that Karta, like the Karta, who is the Karta? The Karta itself is not the is everything is Atma. If everything is Brahma, then where is Karta? So Kartrutvam gone. Therefore, there is no samsara for him. Because only when you have the abhimana of Karta, then only you do karma, therefore karma palam, in the form of punya papa, therefore only janma, punarjanma, samsara, the cycle, samsara chakra. Now we understood aham akarta atma iti. Aham akarta abhokta atma iti. Everything is Ishvaraha eva. Brahmarpanam brahmavihi. Brahmagno brahmanavutam. Brahmaivatena gantavyam brahma karma samadhina. Yes, understood. Everything is Brahma. All the karakas now, they are swallowed by this knowledge. All the factors of action which are involved in an kriya, an action, they are swallowed. Aham atma iti. Therefore, what can bind him? Where is karma for him? In spite of doing, he doesn't do. That is what in Gita we have seen in the 4th chapter. Karmanya karmaya pashyet akarmani cha karmaya sabuddhiman manushyeshu. He is the buddhiman manushyeshu. Sabuddhiman Manusheshu Saha Yuktaha Krishna Karma Krita. He has done everything to be done. There is nothing to be done. He has gained the end. There is nothing to be gained. He is Krita Krityaha. He has achieved the purpose of life. Jivan Muktihi. Therefore, Brahmatmana Samstihi, referring to Jivan Muktihi, that is moksha. While living, he has become free. Brahmi Sthitihi, in the language of Gita. Yesha Brahmi Sthiti Partha. Nainam Prapya Vimugyati Sitvasya Antakalepi. Brahma Nirvanam Rachati attains Brahma Nirvanam even if the person gains his knowledge at the fag end of life, the person becomes free. So Jivan Muktihi, Brahmatmana Samstihi. Then, while living is free, after death, already he is free. After death, he continues to be free. Only thing, Deha, the body is not there. That's called Videha Muktihi. So therefore, Muktihi, the next line, last line, Muktihi referring to Videha Mukti. The person has become free. There is no more coming back for this person. He has become free. Muktihi. That is a goal. For that only all the other sadhanas, all the gradations are given, gradations, and therefore all the other sadhanas. So Mukti, the moksha is a goal. Muktihi. That Muktihi, Naha Shata Janma Koti Sukrutaihi Punyaihi Vina Na Labhyate. That Mukti is a goal. Moksha is a goal. Manushyanam Sagastreshu Kaschit Etati Siddhaye. Kaschit Etati Siddhaye Manushyanam Sagastreshu. Among the thousands of people, only a person. It strives for moksha. Tatrapi Yatatamapi Siddhanam Kaschit Mam Beti Tattvataha. Even among those also who makes effort, only a very rare person comes to know me. Bhagavan says in Gita. So that such a rarity, that moksha, being free, the freedom, that is not gained, na labhyate, without having earned punyam. All this requires punyam. To take Manushya Janma, it's a punyam. The probability is 1 by 84 lakhs. 84 lakh species are there, among them one species is Manushya. Everything is a rarity, and that too to have a punstom, and after that Viprata, then adhering to the Vedic lifestyle, then Vidvatvam, to get a teacher, that itself right teacher, that is difficult, not easy. They must have got some punya to get Swamiji like person. It's not easy. Then Vidvatvam, then Atmanatma Vechanam, then Svanubhavaha, Brahmatmana Samstihi, the Jivan Mukti, then Videha Mukti. All these, the gradations and the sadhanas, Shata, that Punyahi Vina na labhyate. It is impossible without Punya. Punya is a karma pala. You must have done some karma, good karma, not some karma, good karma for which the punyam, the merits are there. Punyam manifest. What is punyam? That is your karma pala manifest for you in the form of a conducive situation. The conducive situation, being in the right place at the right time. That is punyam. So without punyam, and punyam is gained. Punyam is gained by karma, by doing. Therefore, you must have earned this karma, this punyam by karma, shata janma koti sukrtaiki. Not in one manushya, not in one janma. Shata janma. Shata janma, 100 crores of janma. Koti sukrtaiki, sushtu krita, well done. Karma which is well done, which yields punyam. The punyam which is gained in 100 crores of birth, without which this muktihi na labhyate. This mukti is na labhyate. Muktihi na labhyate. It is not gained. Such a rarity it is. So without punyam, this is not gained. So and punyam is shatakoti janma. It means we have worked all through to get this. And therefore we have done some punya, therefore only we have got manushya janma. All the things are in place. So this is not possible without having done punya in 100 crores of janma. Not one or two janma, 100 crores of janma. It is not Bhashyakara. Here Shankaracharya is just he he didn't say anything out of proportion. In fact, Gita also Bhagavan says, Aneka Janma Samsiddhihi. It is not gained in one Janma. Aneka Janma Samsiddhihi. Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate. Having gained so many Janma, he becomes a Jnanavan and Mam Prapadyate, he gains me. So therefore, Shata Janma Koti Sukruta is not exaggeration. It is true. So the punya which is gained in so many janmas, crores of janma, out of that punya fructifies in the form of manushya janma and other rarities, punstam, viprata, vaidika dharma, vidvatvam, then atmanat vivechanam, svanubhavaha, then brahmatmana samstihi, jivan muktihi, then videha muktihi. Iti manushya janma prashamsa is done in the shloka. Now we will read from the commentary of Sachidananda Shiva Abhinava Narasimha Bharati Mahaswami's commentary is there. So this shloka we will read. Simple commentary. Later we will read from Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswaminaha commentary. Now here, I will read and give the simple meaning. Asti tavat, I'm splitting the sandhi. Asti tavat tavan nitya shuddha buddha mukta swabhava sarva upaplava ragita pratyak abhinna brahma mana avasthana lakshanaha nikila purushartha shiromani bhutaha parama purushartaha mokshaha nama. Acharya presents what moksha is. Parama purushartaha moksha. 4 types of purushartha. Generally we say 4 types, but actually it is only one. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha iti. But among all the purusharthas, in fact all the other 3 purushartha, dharma, artha, kama is meant for moksha. That for moksha is parama purushartaha. Purushartaha meaning Purushartaha Purushehi Artyate Prartyate iti Purushartaha. That which is sought after by the Purusha. Purusha meaning human beings. Purusha mean not only males. That which is sought after by the human beings. That is called Purushartaha. Parama Purushartha is Mokshaha. Mokshaha Nama. And that Paramapurushartha, the Acharya defines, that is Nikila Purushartha Shiro Mani Bhutaha. This text is Vivekachudamani. Purushartha is Purushartha Shiromani. It is a money, jewel, the jewel which is worn on the head. So among the other Purusharthas, Nikila Purushartha, among the other Purushartha, other goals, human goals, this Purushartha is like a Shiromani. It's like a jewel which is worn on the head, like Vivekachudamani. This Parama Purushartha, this Mokshaha, which is characterized by what? Lakshanaha, Tavat, Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta, Swabhava. All these words to describe Brahmatma. That which is Nitya, permanent, Shuddha, always pure, Buddha, which is endowed with knowledge, Muktaha, free, Mukta Swabhavaha, nature, Sarva Upaplavaragita, free from all afflictions, samsara. What is that? That is Pratyekatma, Atma, Pratyek, Abhinna Brahma. That Pratyekatma, the Atma which is not different from Brahma. Brahma, the word we use from the standpoint of the total, Atma from the standpoint of the individual Jiva. The Jiva is not different from Brahma from the standpoint of Chaitanyam. Therefore, Pratyak Binna Brahmatmana, Avasthana Lakshaha. Avasthana Lakshanaha is that Brahmi Sthitihi, abiding in that knowledge. That is one Nishta. Brahmi Sthitihi, Brahmanishta, Jnananishta. So that is what Mokshaha iti. Abiding in the knowledge that Aham Brahma Asmi. That is Mokshaha. So Moksha is characterized by the knowledge that is Aham Atma Brahma iti. Yam Praptanam Na Punaravrittihi. Yam Praptanam means Moksham Praptanam. The one who has, those who are great Moksha. Yam Praptanam. Na Punaravrittihi. Doesn't come back. Tadgat. Na Nivartate. Having gained Brahma Bhavanaloka Punaravartino. Up to Brahma Loka, you can go because of your punya, but you have to come back. But gaining which? Tadhama Paramam Param. Tadhama Param. But here, Yam Gatva Na Nivartante, having reached, having gained this moksha, one, Na Punaravartihi, Punarjanma Na Vidyate. There is no Punarjanma, there is no coming back, there is no samsara for that person. The person has gained this Purushartha, Parama Purushartha, Mokshaha. Yascha Veda Vedanta Smriti Itihasa Puranadishu Anekada Prapanchate. That alone in the Veda, Vedanta, Upanishad, Smriti, Itihasa, Purana, and all this Anekada in different Anekada Prapanchate. It is taught in various manners. Yat Prapte, gaining which? Moksha Prapte. Moksha Prapte. Yat Prapte. Cha. Sakshat Paramparaya va Sarvani Shastrani Pravrittani. Yat Prapte, Moksha Prapte only. Moksha Prapte only. Sakshat Paramparayava, directly or Paramparaya in order, Kramat. All the Shastras are Pravrittani. They are intended for gaining this, either directly or indirectly. Directly by Jnanam. Indirectly, that only by Jnanam, Jnanena eva moksha. Jnanadeva moksha, Jnanameva moksha. Then indirectly, that is, they indirectly meaning that they give the sadhana, karma yoga, upasana, ityadi, for getting jnana yogyata, then jnanam. Therefore, all the shastra, Gita, etc. Gita is both it is yoga shastra, karma shastra, karma yoga shastra, karma yoga shastra as well as Brahma Vidya. Therefore, Sarvani Shastrani, Pravrittani, Tadartameva, Yat Moksha Prapte eva. तत् तादृक्ष मोक्षे परमं यत्नम् उत्तरत्र विदित्सुः भगवान् आचार्यः मोक्षे तत् साधनेषु च दौर्लभ्यं दर्शयति जन्तूनाम् इति तत् तादृक्ष मोक्षे such type of moksha, the freedom which requires what? Paramam yattanam, which requires great effort. And Acharya Uttaratra subsequently Acharya presents Viditsuhu, the word qualifies Acharya. Viditsuhu, Bhagavan Acharya. Acharya is Bhagavan. Is equated to the Lord. Bhagavan only. That's why we Shankar Bhagavat Pada. Viditsuhu, Vidhatum Ichuhu. Sananta it is. Ditsuhu, Dhadatu. Dharana Poshta Yogo, Vipurvaka. Vidhatum Icha, Vidhatum Ichuhu, Viditsuhu. Desirous of presenting. Kaha, who? Bhagavan Acharya. Mokshe, for moksha, mokshe tat sadhaneshu cha. In gaining moksha and with the sadhanam, which is for the sadhanam for moksha. Daurlabhyam, difficulty. Daurlabhyam is a tadita word. Durlabha, from that we get daurlabhyam. Daurlabhyam, the difficulty, the rarity. Acharya darshayati, Acharya shows. How? Jantunam. It is the shloka, first line, first word. It says, Jantunam narajanma durlabham iti darshayati Acharya. Then Janishyanam Praninam Ityartha. Important a note here. Note we will read a little after having read the next line also. Anyata Jantu Padasya Prani Samanya Arthakatve Muktanam Narajanmanaha Api Nishtatvena Than Prati Uttamartaka Durlabha Pada Katana Anupapatte. Beautifully, Acharya says a small point, but vital point. See, Jantuna Narajanma Durlabham. That's the first line. But Acharya says Janishyamananam. Janishya is future tense. Shanash. Rit Shanash, in fact, it is. Those who know Sanskritam, they understand. Rit Shanash. Lit Lakara, future tense. Bhavishyati. Kale, Bhavishyat Kala. Janishyamananam, the beings which will take Janma. That is Janishyamananam Praninam. That is what Jantuna. Why? Because if you say Jantunam Narajanma Durlabham, Anyata means otherwise, if you say what will happen? Jantu Padasya, it referring to the entire pranis. Then it includes those who are already gained jnanam and therefore moksha. That also they will be included. Prani Samarthya Arthakatve Muktanam Narajanmanaha api Nishtatvena Tan Prati. You say just Jantuna, that may include the Jnanis also. Then for this advice is also for Jnanis. No, they are excluded from this. Jantuna, when we say it excludes, that is why Janishyamanana, those pranis which will take birth, that is in future. Those will take birth. Therefore, those who have taken birth, among them, those who have gained moksha, nishta in this jnanam, they are excluded. Otherwise, what will happen? This jnanis, nishtatvena, they are in this brahmanishta, the tanprati. For them also, you are setting a goal. Uttamartaka, durlabha pada, that durlabha padam, durlabham, the padam, it is the durlabha padam saying, durlabha pada katanam, it is not tenable. It is not proper for those who have already gained the end, the moksha. They already gained nishta in this jnanam. Therefore, they have to be excluded. Therefore, Janishyamananam, those beings which takes birth, iti Acharya says. Small point, but vital point. Then Narajanma iti. From here, we will read in the next class. We'll stop here. This is a small commentary only for this shloka. After that, we will take up from read here also. So discussion will be elaborate for each shloka. So we will take many classes to complete each shloka. There is no pressure to complete the shloka, 1 or 2 classes. Okay, fine. Yes, we'll stop here. What is the question?
It is a grammar question.
We'll ask. I may complete the class and then you can ask. Om Purnamadav Purnamidham Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vishishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Dhanyavadaha. Yes.
It's like
ధన్యవాదాలు.
Muktihi na labhyate. If we had, I will get Bhuktir na labhyate. Because see, Sandhi won't happen after Muktihi and na. That how did it become Muktir no Shata? That part I didn't.
What is Naha? What is no? No is Naha. Asmakam. Naha.
Okay. Oh, it's
Oh,
actually
no,
Muktir
sorry, not Naha. Kshamita, sorry.
na
Muktir na,
labhyate. Ah,
na, u.
yes.
But u is a particle. There is no meaning.
Oh, okay. Fine. Understood.
I said actually in the class.
Oh, I missed it.
Muktir
Probably.
na u labhyate.
Okay. Fine. No problem. Thank you.
ధన్యవాదాలు.
ధన్యవాదాలు. ధన్యవాదాలు.
ధన్యవాదాలు.